Hi grade 10s. I'm going to make a second video to go along with this morning's video about graphing using intercepts in order to help us find the solution to the system of equations. I've had a couple questions about how I can graph 3x plus 2y is equal to 12, so I want to help you with that. So today, when I graph this, I used intercepts to do it. I want to show you how you can also do it a second way. You could change it to an equation where it was y equals. Okay, to do that, you'd have 2y is equal to 12 minus 3x. And then you would need to divide everything by 2. So you'd have y is equal to 12 divided by 2 gives you 6 minus 3 over 2x. Now that's totally fine. So you'd end up with negative 3 over 2 as the slope and plus 6 as the y-intercept. So if I were to graph that, we would start at 6 and this side would go down 3 and this side would go up 2. This side would go down 3, this side would go up 2. So 0 plus 2 is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4, 6 minus 3 is 3, 3 minus 3 is 0. Let's go one more time. 4 plus 2 is 6. 0 minus 3 is negative 3. We could certainly do that. Okay, but that is not how I graphed it today. But before I graph it the way I did today, I'm going to graph it this way. So I'm going to start over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Please don't feel bad if you don't have graph paper. Your own teacher does not have graph paper. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At 2, it is 3. At 4, it is 0. At 6, it is minus 3. And I would take a ruler and I would connect all of those points. Okay? Now, I want to show you. Some of you are more comfortable with that method, and that's fine. But I also want you to be aware of how to graph it with intercepts. I want you to notice something. This point and this point are very important. The reason they're important is because at the beginning it's 6, and that's where it touches the y-axis. And then at 4, it is 0, and that's where it touches the x-intercept. So this right here is the x-intercept, and this right here is the y-intercept. So when you have, that's what I was trying to explain this morning, when you have a y-intercept, the x is equal to 0. When you have a y-intercept of 6, the x underneath it is 0. When you have an x-intercept, we have an x-intercept, the y is equal to 0. When it touches at x is equal to 4, the y that goes with it is not 1, not minus 1, but 0. So a second way that you can graph this equation right here is by using intercepts. We can first find the y-intercept. If we want to find the y-intercept, don't forget, if you're trying to find the y-intercept, it means x is equal to 0. So I'm going to write this equation. 3x plus 2y is equal to 12. I'm going to cross off the x and put a 0 here. 3 times 0 is just 0, plus 2y is equal to 12. So 2y is equal to 12. Y is equal to 12 divided by 2. Y is equal to 6. Oh, look it. That's exactly what I got over here. My y-intercept is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, let's see if it works for my x-intercept. If I have an x-intercept, my y is equal to 0. If I have an x-intercept, the y number is 0. Okay, so I'm going to write down my equation. 3x plus 2y is equal to 12. I'm going to cross off my y here, put a 0. So I have 3x plus 2 times 0 is equal to 12. 2 times 0 is just 0. So I have 3x is equal to 12. X is equal to 12 divided by 3. X is equal to 4, which is the same thing as I got here. The same thing, my x-intercept is equal to 4. Just like I would have gotten if I isolated for y and had mx plus b. So either way you want to do it is perfect. I just feel like the y-intercept and x-intercept method is a little bit simpler. But if you want to stick with this method, that is fine too.